Hey guys, welcome back to Banana Bob. Today we're doing another weekly fishing game report. Let's start with a report from our designer, Captain Kelly in Delacroix.
Hey y'all, it's Captain Kelly from Delacroix, as Max said, as Banana Bob, as we love. And I am actually found on TikTok at Kelly Kayaks Delacroix. You can hit me over there. The weather's getting ready to break, which I'm super excited for because right now the reports from down here are not stellar, to be quite honest. Lake Leary, they're catching some reds and whatever, but it's tough fishing to get them to eat. They're out there, but they're just not eating. Hardheads are going away, and I did hear we're catching some, some more like channel cats and whatnot. And so that's a good news. At least you can eat those. As far as the ducks, they're moving in, but unfortunately, we're starting to get this weather system that's going to be coming, the end of the week. And I think next week is the last weekend. And so who knows what that weather is going to do. What do you think, Max?
Um, I think I okay for the ducks. I feel like there's two reasons why those ducks aren't in here yet. For teal, I mean for teal. Second reason, first reason, sorry. First reason is what I feel like that storm stopped that migration coming down from from those birds. And the second reason is the birds that already were there before that storm hit pushed them out, and those birds don't want to come back because when that storm comes in, that's pushing all that salt water into those marshes, and that's killing the grass and that food supply for these birds. And those teal don't really like that stuff. So if they don't have what they need, they're leaving. They don't want to be here. So that's why you see some more birds up in Texas, to right in Texas and somewhere down in Florida. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%, and I think, the weather, man, we had those really, really hot, week or, two right before the season came in. I think that really just kind of messed us up, you
yeah,
know. So, but as far as the fishing, I think it's going to be hard go until we get, this big weather system out of here. And my concern with that weather system is that it's going to be, if it hits more to Florida, it's going to be sucking all the water out. And I think it's going to mess up a lot of things for quite, for several weeks, because
yeah.
it's going to be sucking the water out because we're going to be on the west side. And so that'll be, not cool for,
Right, right,
layman's terms.
right. So do you think that because that water's dropping, it's a lot lower water depth? You think it's easier to find redfish in those flat areas in the marsh, or is it you think they move out and go up to deeper water in those big
Well,
cuts?
I think that, typically, the redfish do like the more shallow water up near the grass and stuff like that. But the temperature, the weather, I mean, it's, we're still, hitting, I think the other day it was 102.
Late summer,
And,
yeah.
yeah, they're not going to be up there. And then we also have to remember the oxygen level in the waters when it's so hot. And if there's very little tide movement, we did have that big
Right,
full moon, which was kind of exciting for a
right.
while, but I've been noticing the tide levels aren't hitting hard, aren't having big swings. So you get all that water movement.
100% agree with that. I love that explanation. Um,
Yeah.
so, so let's talk about targeting these fish. So the fish are in the flats, so more in that deeper water to get cool down, but close enough to that what's it called? Where the water changes from hot to cold?
Yeah.
Thermocline. Thermocline. So when those fish get under that thermocline because of colder water and more dissolved oxygen, what are you throwing? Cork, you throwing a dead bait, live bait? What is your, you know,
So look, I'm a fan of the suspended jerk bait. I mean, it's my go-to. I love it. It's let's see, it's called the Skinny Lipper. I like that thing. I just started throwing that not too long ago, and it's doing pretty good. So that's nice. And a cork. Everybody loves the cork. I hate the cork. I just hate working it. I don't know. I know it's a lot. It's tried true, but I don't know. Maybe there's. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be a believer. I am a believer in it. Man, you catch a lot of fish with a cork. I'm not dissing the cork. I just prefer, more doing more stuff. I just sitting out there popping that cork. I want to
Right, right.
be
It
doing
gets
stuff.
tedious. It gets tedious.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
got it.
But yeah, so in Lake Leary, they are catching some reds on the cork with tip shrimp and whatnot. So yeah, I mean there you're definitely going to catch, I can't say definitely. They're fish. They have fins and
Right.
no pincers, so they're going to be out of here,
It's fishing, not catching. Right.
That's right. Fishing and not catching. But like I said, people have been in, under cork with shrimp. So,
Right.
you know, but I like the suspended jerk baits, especially this time of year, because you can, you're right
Target.
in that middle level
Right.
and
You can
whatnot. But
mhm.
the other day I got blown up pretty big on a top water, of course,
Right.
early in the morning. And I was actually on the North Shore up there by y'all, by us all. I'm just down here in Delacroix, for a week. But where I have I keep my camp at and whatnot. So the other night I was out there in like towards the marsh and throwing the top water and had huge blow up. I missed it. It was my fault. I'll be honest. I'm not sure what it was, but I was excited. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so there's top waters definitely. I think early morning, late evening. It was dark,
Right.
but
And going off of late evenings and early mornings, when it's cool outside, those fish are super active. They could be anywhere. They're just roaming
yeah,
around, chasing bait, doing all that stuff. But when you get
yeah.
into those hot, middle of the day type stuff, you're what are we doing? We're going deep. We're going into that deep water.
Oh,
We're going to those
absolutely.
pockets. Okay.
Yeah, I tend to do probably depending on where I'm at. I like a quarter ounce weedless. Weedless so I can get down there. Deeper. Down on the bottom and not whatnot, and usually like a power prawn or something like that, like a prawn, like a shrimp or
Right. We're doing stuff.
yeah, or a stick
Okay.
bait. You
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah,
Hmm.
uh, something like that where you can get some, just some. I call it lazy action where you just kind of float, hits the
Right.
bottom and just kind of easy because they're not,
Oh,
it's too
finesse.
hot, man.
Right. When it gets
Yeah,
hot out there, those fish are super was uptight. We could say that they're
yeah,
very
yeah,
finicky and stuff,
lethargic.
lethargic. See,
Yeah,
this is exactly.
yeah,
So the more lethargic, and those fishes want something subtle, and you know, they don't want something super crazy and erratic like popping cork or top water in the middle of the day. They want something easy and you know, chill,
right,
basically.
right.
Okay.
Lit for
So
sure.
yeah, okay. So let's get into reports down where we are, the North Shore. Okay, so Foggy Water, where I work at, we had two boats that went out, put some ducks. Both of them came back with four each. When they shot four
Ah,
teal, all one of the boats shot all drakes, four teal, and the other one shot a mixture of um drakes and hens. They said it was fast in the morning, and then when it got hotter in the evening, all those ducks they didn't see much of anything else. So
yeah.
they got back at 9 o'clock in the morning. They went out 6, come back at 9.
Oh, and they
So
got back in time.
yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
stay out there for long. They had no birds moving, but that's basically it. That's nothing else happened for the ducks over there, but we did have a tournament out there for bass.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it was super active. They said I was talking to the guys. They were like, dude, it was crazy out there. You had bites every like 2 to 3 minutes. It was crazy. It was super active because usually when you're out there, it's like it's a grind. It takes you like the entire 5 hours to catch a limit of bass. So
Right.
super active. They caught fish constantly. It just wasn't the size they were looking for. I think the biggest bass was like 3 pounds, and the
Yeah.
biggest bag was like 8. So it
Yeah.
was super.
So,
You know,
so why do you think that it was so active now compared to other times? Like, what's your opinion on that?
what do you mean?
Because you're a bass man. I'm not a bass girl.
You mean like later? Like, what do you mean? Like late in the daytime, or you mean like in the past? What do you mean
Yeah,
by?
like why do you think the fish were so active to, for the tournament time than compared to other times you've been out there?
Other times it's a grind. As I said, it takes a long time to catch those fish because it was okay. The reasons why I think those fish are more active and more into it is you
Yeah,
got when I was out there on the dock, you see tons of bait just flickering and shooting up and everything. I feel that bait's pushing into those big bayou arms and those fish are just going active. But during summertime, like the dog days of summer, those fish don't chase bait.
right.
They have a home base and they stay at that home base. And when those bait come by, they attack it, but they don't chase it. They stay around that home base they live around, and whatever bait that come by, they have the opportunity to attack. They don't chase a lot. So if you just find that little area, it might be the size of this room right here, and they could be hundreds of bass just hanging out in that one spot because they're not really super movement around. But usually early in the morning, you can probably find some roaming bass that you could
Yeah,
probably catch. But it's going to be hard to find the fish. But when you find them, it's going to be a crazy one. So
yeah. Cool.
that's mine.
Yeah, so pretty much there's just more bait right now.
More bait and the fish is more active because
Yeah,
it just when it was hot out there, they didn't have a lot of bait pushing into those
yeah,
creeks. It had perch and it
yeah.
had baby minnows.
Don't you feel like that's pretty like um indicative of like even down here, like with the redfish and the trout, the heat, no bait moving, there's, unless you get a really good tide fall, hard fall or hard coming in, don't
Right.
you feel like that's really a grind for whether it's bass or it's, this inland bay stuff?
Yes, 100%. It's just certain things turn bass and fish on, and certain things do not. When those fish aren't active, when there's no bait, no current, no water and fluctuations, or no things for them, like no structure for them to be on, it's super difficult to find and get these fish to eat, especially when you have high pressure body of water. It's super hard to find these fish to eat. But when they have opportunities to like water movement, oxygen, okay, they're all gonna pile up on there. When you have bait coming in, oh, I'm gonna follow that bait or I'm gonna eat that bait. So it just gets them active. Okay, these bass are optimistic feeders or opportunity feeders. So they when they see something that they can eat, even though they're not hungry, they're still gonna attack that. So when this bait came
Like,
in, it got them active. So these fish were
yeah,
non-active, it was hot, they're lethargic. But when that bait came in, it snapped in their head like, oh, I'm gonna feed. And that's what makes the difference from like no bait and bait. It just turns them on. You can catch a lot more fish.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for the weather to break, to be quite honest. I'm so, I kayak fish
Right,
mostly and yeah, going out there when it's 100 degrees in a kayak, it's just is horrible. And you
right,
kayak
right.
fish too, so
I, yeah.
but yeah, after this crappy weather gets out of here, I'm so looking forward. Where I'm at here in Delacroix, I'm maybe uh 20 minutes from Lake Leary.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I'll be able to get out there relatively easily. And then also too, where the graveyard is,
Hmm.
you know where the graveyard is down here.
Yeah.
If you go out of Sweetwater, go right across and
Yeah.
it's down and go to the left.
Right.
And that's the graveyard. I can't look, y'all. I don't know the names of anything, but I can tell you how to get places. I
I
can't
got
tell
you.
you the name of it, but I know how to get there. So anyway, but I've had really good luck there out at the graveyard and a little bit back of there. Even during the hot, I wasn't killing it by any means, but I was
Right.
catching a few on the suspended jerk bait.
There you go. There you go. What color you use? Like
It's like it's a mullet. It looks like a mullet, man. I wish I had it because it's my favorite. I am like, look, when I come in, I rinse everything off. I make sure I rinse that bait off because I can't
right.
remember where I got it from, and I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, it looks like a little a thin mullet.
Mhm.
I love it.
So I think we're about to wrap up in a couple minutes. Before we do that, I want to ask you I want to ask you two questions. So tell me what differences you do between right now and when that water gets cold. When it gets a lot colder, those fish start moving up, getting closer to the bank. What do you start throwing, and what is your game plan when you see stuff like that? When you see that
Yeah.
cold.
So I think my game plan is I'm going to go to a larger bait, because you have to think what they're chasing. During the summer, all the bait is it's small,
Right.
we're getting into the crustacean now, the shrimp and stuff. So,
Mhm.
they're probably mid-size. I'm definitely going to be going to a larger bait, a 4 or 5 inch, either soft plastic, a paddle tail, or, even a suspended jerk bait, a bigger one, an XL.
Right.
So that's really my game plan. I try to think about what they're eating, how big is it?
Right.
Is it a crustacean? Is it a shrimp? Is it a crab? What is it? And do what I can, do what I can to best replicate those,
Try to match the hatch.
and yeah, and they're going to be more towards the grass, the redfish particularly are going to be more like up in the grasses because it's going to be cooler and they're going to be looking for that warmth.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's what I'm
So
excited about. As a matter of fact, I just ordered a bunch of 4 and 5 inch soft plastic
there you
paddle
go.
tails, stick baits, and prawns.
Right.
So
So I know bass fishing when I'm trying to match the hatch, I'm trying to perfectly like get exactly what the bait fish looks like. But the water's kind of dirty, I kind of go for I don't match the hatch. I kind of go for more like black and blues and darker colors or like really white colors. What do you do when you see a lot of bait and a lot of fish attacking the bait, but it's super dirty water? Like what colors do you use, or do you use the
yeah,
same?
so that's a really good question because I've been contemplating this because I'm pretty new to throwing plastics and lures in general. I've always been with the shrimp. I've been with cut mullet, stuff like that. Was it piggy perch and whatever. So this lure fishing is really I'm pretty new to. So I've been contemplating this coming up because I know we're getting all these storms in the Gulf and whatnot, really just turning up everything. So I think I'm going to go with the Delacroix tried true, chartreuse. You know, I'm going to go with the golds, the brown and the
Right.
golds. I think I'm
Okay.
going to go more for, and hopefully get some reflection off that. So when it was mucky before, dirty, murky water, I was throwing more of a I don't know, it was like a pearl color. I
Right.
would say
A
paddle
purple.
tail zero. Like I didn't get anything, and I saw fish. So I just and then I switched out, to it was a let's see, it was a black and it had like gold fleck in it. And I started getting hits on that. So
Well, I'm glad
that's
that you mentioned that. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you mentioned that. A gold spot, like a little so okay. Do you think small details in bait and like plastics make big differences? Like if I had a straight white paddle tail and I had another straight white paddle tail but with a purple line going through it, do you think that makes a difference when you're fishing? Or the fish is
I
just attacking it and just.
so I think that it has to do a lot more with action. The action, and I think if you have something that's so similar, I don't think like a purple line through it is going to make a difference between two baits if the action is the same.
Okay.
So if does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah. I
thinking
think
your
it has
opinion
more.
on it.
I'm sorry.
I was just asking what your opinion was on it because I was thinking the same thing. Like those tiny differences don't make a big deal when in the
I
grand.
I Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't think little differences like that. I think it has more to do with action of the bait than it does,
Mhm.
so much the color. There's just,
Yeah.
minor differences.
Okay, well, that's it for me. We're done, I think. So thank you
Okay,
so much, Miss Kelly, for all the
okay.
information and all the reports you got for us. And um stay okay. And stay tuned for the next game fish report. But before I leave, I want to say one thing. Go check out the new merch at bananabob.com. We have hoodies, long sleeves, and hats. Go check it out. Banana Bob out. Again. Hey.
Bye. Thank you. That was great, Matt.